Most of our diseases are stress related. 95% of the diseases are psychosomatic. So if we can relax ourselves, if we can bring down the heart rate and the breathing to normalcy, a lot of our diseases can be regulated or they can be reduced. But this is not like something, something that's been really damaged. To revive it, music is not like a magic tool or something that can react overnight, but definitely it can help you.
There's a question from Monica Kumar. She's asking, need to understand this intervention for children with ADHD and autism.
Yes. I will give you an experience. This was almost 22 years back when I was first time teacher for young children. I have taught earlier also, but for very young children, I had never had that experience. And there was one child, we had plenty of music in our class, and everything would begin and end with music. And so this child would close his ears and come to me. So in the beginning, the others in the class would think that he doesn't like music. He would close his ears and come towards me. But he would always come towards me. Every singing he would do this. And even if he was far away, he would shut his ears and then come. And this child was diagnosed with autism. He was on the spectrum. What I understood in the beginning, which was not clear, what I was understood is he's shutting off other sounds to hear me better. He's not shutting my sound off, but he wants to hear the song, the notes better, because as you know, in autism, their frequency of hearing is way too high and they can hear different sounds all in equal frequency, which can be very difficult for them to concentrate and focus. That's one of the reasons, sometimes that could be one of the reasons why they have speech delay, or they mumble a lot, or they make a lot of sounds, because that's what they hear. So it was a big awakening to me. And in my journey as a remedial therapist, I've used music to treat children with ADHD, and it's worked wonders. It's worked wonders because instead of telling them, listen to me, be careful, I have music classes, and I also make sure that they're all performing in a very small way at the end of the year. So they really have that zeal to listen and reproduce the sound. That itself automatically trains them to be attentive. In the beginning, when they don't even have the capacity to sit still in class, I've had children running around. So what we do is we have movement and music together, so that we're not forcing them to sit down, because they're incapable of sitting down in one place for a long time. So what we do is we go to where the child is and then bring them to where we want them to be. So if I want them to be sitting still for a certain period of time, I can't start with that. I have to start with what the child is capable of. So I just go to where the child is and then slowly bring him to the target that I have. So yes, so definitely in the treatment of ADHD and autism, it is used. Also, there is something called integrated listening system. There is also something called tomatis. They use music of Mozart in specific frequencies and with specific headphones that will bring in bone conduction and air conduction. We hear through two ways, bone conduction and air conduction. So through these specific, specially designed headphones, they can bring down that frequency and bring up the frequency that you hear with. They can alter the, dominant side of your ear. You can be left ear dominant or right ear dominant, and all these come under therapy.
We have Shailish. Yes, sir, you can ask your question.
Hello.
Yes.
So as you told about music, so just want to understand its role on physical, mental and emotional well-being. So like when we sing, for example, if we take diseases, something like that, thyroid or acidity and all, or you told about that heart rates and all. So what's the role of this music in mental and emotional health? And with that question, I want to ask you one more thing about Om. because Om is also a great, people. I can see a lot of sounds with frequencies. So, what is the best frequency for a human being? Because everything is about frequency. So, what is the best frequency to upgrade ourselves to hear and for our well-being? Thank you.
I'll take many questions in that. So, one by one, we've already seen that emotional, physical, and mental health improves through music. I have shown it through my slides, but to reiterate this, that music has a bearing on our physical health, like you said, diseases like thyroid and various other ailments. While it's not like an overnight magic that happens and it cures overnight, constant exposure to music, regular exposure to music can definitely remove stress. Most of our diseases are stress related. In fact, yesterday I was listening to a group of psychologists at Heal Education and Health Center and Seva organization for counseling, and Dr. Radha there was mentioning that 95% of the diseases are psychosomatic. So if we can relax ourselves, if we can bring down the heart rate and the breathing to normalcy, a lot of our diseases can be regulated or they can be reduced. So that itself will reduce the incidence of diseases. And if you already have the disease, I guess it will reduce the intensity. But this is not like something, something that's been really damaged. To revive it, music is not like a magic tool or something that can react overnight, but definitely it can help you. That's about music and disease. And then you asked about Om chanting. Yes, Om is actually, it contains 3 syllables, and chanting is another aspect altogether, but very much related to sound and hearing. And when we do, as a remedial therapist, when I work with Brahmari Pranayama, it's actually internal chanting of Om. You can all put your hand to the top of your skull and produce this sound. If you can hum, put yourself on mute and hum, and you will notice that you can feel vibration here. Like I already mentioned that we hear through 2 ways: air conduction, sound waves, and bone conduction. So chanting really works on bone conduction. That is why in all religions we have chanting. When you have a problem, chant. That's what they say, right? You chant, some shlokas in Hinduism, or the Quran, or even in the Bible there are verses that you chant, or there is Hail Mary, or different things that you chant. So what happens when you chant is you become very centered, you become very focused. The problems won't go away, but you have a better perception of the problem. There's more clarity on how to deal with the problem. I think that's what music can do, chanting can do. Yeah. So can we have the next question?
We have Shmuel.
Okay, very interesting lecture, and I want to ask you how, according to you, music, impacts of music can support improvement, social well-being, social wellness of poor and low-income population.
Yes. Yeah. I think thank you for this question. It's such an important aspect today. Socially we are all so strung up, like in the sense, to be amicable is such an important thing for us to have peace in the world. When we talk about world peace, it's a very huge thing, but it all starts with small skirmishes, isn't it? Within the family, within neighborhoods, and within smaller circles, and then it boomerangs into something very big. I think social peace is something so important, and music can really bring about that kind of community feeling, that feeling of oneness. And that's how we, in ancient times, that's how people built communities. We had songs for the village, you have songs for the family. We had these things which we are losing. And we have school song, when we have a reunion, we all have great fun singing that. And I think we need to find things like that. We hardly have an office song, right? We don't have a company song anymore. We have a motto which induces us to do this, or guides us to do this, but we don't have a company song. I think everyone here should start creating something like this for your own company, your own institution. It's very important. And why not have a Sunday song, Monday song, Tuesday song, whatever, have this. And music can really bring that smile on your face. And even if you're making a mistake, it's not like as you have to be so proper. Even if you make a mistake, it'll bring people closer together. And you learn things. It brings about that social feeling. I think music is a huge tool to bring society together, to bring the social, amicable, peaceful environment. Thank you for bringing that aspect, which I did not explain. But, in most communities, like village communities, agricultural communities, they have these songs, weavers' songs. They have, people who are doing these traditional professions, they all have songs that they sing while doing their work. And I think we should bring it back in our society. And it's not difficult. We can do that.